I think what's coming up for me in this moment is it's so easy for the mind, in my mind, right? And maybe you're the same way, but to cling to a side. You have the conspiracy theorist side where everybody's out to get you, the world's falling apart. There's other conspiracies where we're going to have 1,000 years of peace, this and that, right? And then there's the other side of the coin where the numbers are real, right? Where the pandemic's real, where people are wearing face masks everywhere they go and they're concerned about their elders and this and that. And I think what's hard for me is to sit in the unknown sometimes. You know, what is really going on? Do we really know for certain? And is this the truth of the truth, right? Intuition, my intuition has always guided me. And I feel it, and then the feeling turns into a knowing. I don't know if you're the same way. So I feel like I have a pretty good grip on what's going on, but then all of a sudden the landscape shifts, or the movie changes, the dream changes. And it sometimes leaves me feeling angry in the moment over this whole thing. I feel sad. I feel more sad for other people, I think, because I've been so blessed to be here in California, in San Diego, and I haven't had anybody in my life affected by this thing. So I can be grateful for that. I can be grateful for the quality of life that I have. And it's easy for me to switch. But on the days where I'll decide to go to the park, or I want to buy a plane ticket somewhere, or I want to do what I used to do, and the roadblock gets put there, I get angry. I get upset. My friends, I'm known as the guy that's like always so positive, you know, that always keeps it together, the leader. And there's some days where I feel like my foundation is just crumbling inside. I feel the love, you know. Physical touch is my highest love language. And I got a hug like 2 days ago. And I just wanted to hold this hug for a year. It felt so good. And I felt like I was breaking the law by hugging somebody. You know, is this the new normal that we signed up for? And I think if anything, it's almost creating more separation between humanity. It's bringing a lot of us together virtually, yes. But the, plastic walls in the grocery store, the plastic walls on the treadmill of the gym when they open back up, it creates more isolation. So my heart is feeling so much people that are experiencing mental things that are coming up. They haven't created the self-discipline and the willpower to hold that mental fortitude in times of resistance, right? I feel like in many ways I was blessed to experience all the trauma that I had as a kid. I was abused, tortured. If I couldn't tie my shoes fast enough, my own father would put cigarettes out on my head. Taking a bath, he would hold my head underneath the water. And if I was pulled up and I cried, he would shove my head back under the water. So all these crazy things, I believe, were preparing me for the exact moment that you and I are in. And the journey's hard. It can be tough. I used to think that everything was good, that, I trained with a bunch of Christian scientists for a while on the metaphysics of the Bible and the scriptures. And it was life-changing because they believed so much in the healing capability of our mind and the power of prayer and the power of God, that instantaneous healings would happen, right? And it kind of changed the way I observe a lot of things in a good way. And then I've continued to grow and evolve spiritually, and and learn things. But I think right now, the reason I bring that up is because we're at a choice point globally in our consciousness together, you and I. It's only about you. And we can get hung up on the conspiracy theories, which conspire means to work together, right? Or we can get hung up on the data and the statistics and everything that's going wrong, and we're not going to be over this thing till September or whatever the news is that's out there. I try not to watch the news, very little, maybe 5 minutes a week. And some would say, Drew, that's crazy, you're aloof. But I think it really helps with that mental fortitude that we talked about. And also, I'm focused on the movie that I'm creating. I'm focused on helping you in this moment. So it's real easy for me to be sometimes in a sad place or an angry spot and then just shift it outside of myself. I think about you. If you're watching this in another part of the world where the restrictions are even more, my heart goes out to you and I feel for you. I think now is the time to dig in more into our rituals, our routines together, because we're being tested. Every day is another test. What's coming next? And if you can maintain your own peace of mind, your body will relax, it will restore itself naturally, and I believe we can become vibrationally attuned and immune. So raising your vibration, my friend, raising your frequency. What brings you joy right now? If you and I were hanging out for a day, what would we do together? Right? How would we feel so good? What kind of words would we say to each other? Maybe one of the mantras would be, life is just rigged in our favor. So we would call in that. We would call in opportunities and situations that would lighten our hearts and our soul. We'd feel alive. Maybe there'd be a dance party. Lots of hugs, of course, even though we'd be breaking the law. I believe all these things that you and I have the ability to do in the physical can also be recreated in the non-physical. So I know that sounds, actually it doesn't sound woo-woo at all. There's a knowing inside of you that knows this. Some would label it as you could do this psychically, like a lot of the yogic practices. But I believe it's just one of your superpowers. I believe you are beyond powerful. And if you can imagine for a moment, let's do a test, right? You got 4 neurochemicals. You got oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in our brain. And if you knew for a moment that there was this idea that you could travel outside your physical body as your light body or as your oversoul or your selfless self, and you could observe your physical body from a place, call it a higher plane, higher chakra, higher system, higher energetics, different dimension, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. And you could observe your mind. And from that bird's eye view, you could change the neurochemicals in your brain simply by commanding it to be. Right? Let's say you wanted to experience more oxytocin, which is the love drug, which is the feeling good hormone, which is the hug for 14 seconds and you increase it like 32%. How would that feel in the moment? Can you imagine it? Can you imagine it to be so? Do you feel that? And maybe instead of a hug, when you do hang out with people and you're doing your social distancing, you could simply gaze into their soul with your eyes for 20 to 30 seconds. And imagine yourself looking into their left eye, which is the heart, right? Receiving, giving them love, giving them a hug. Imagine that. How would that feel in your body? And then imagine for a moment your serotonin, which 80% is created in your gut, is increasing, which is that happy hormone, that happy neurochemical. What would that feel like? Maybe you see kids running through a luscious green field, laughing. And that little kid that you see is actually you, that child inside of you with that unbridled joy. And when you feel that in your body and you go to that place, you experience that happiness as if it happened. And what if dopamine, the neurochemical that was the more molecule, you could simply create by being that outside observer, by witnessing yourself in the 3D travel to a place that you've never been. Maybe you're enjoying a cup of coffee in Europe at a cafe that you've never traveled to. And as you look around, you see new flowers and you hear the sounds of the bikes and you hear the sounds of the Italian language spoken and you smell the coffee. And then you feel your dopamine levels go up. And the same can be done for every single biochemical transaction in your body. Because you're not your body. And I know it's really easy to look in the mirror day after day and think that that's who you are. That I am my hand, I am flesh, right? But we would never say that. That sounds crazy. You, the big you, is so powerful that whatever you can dream up will be a creation. So, when we recognize that we are asleep, first of all, in a dream, and we start to wake up from that dream, individually, we're not concerned about the whole. We're not concerned about everyone or everything. We're concerned about you and just you. When you start to focus on you and your movie that you're creating or the book that you're writing, everything will start to shift. I've noticed that in my life because it's real easy, you guys. It's easy to go down the rabbit hole of conspiracies. Listen, I've been up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning for weeks on end in the beginning of this thing, looking at absolutely every piece of data I could find. I'm a researcher, high researcher. I love it. It's like crack, right? You find one article, you're reading another article, and what happens vibrationally is the people that like to do that automatically start sending you more stuff. You know what I'm talking about. So now you got Uncle Jerry, you got Aunt Susie, you got Billy Bob, you got everybody sending you information to prove the reality that you're already creating inside yourself. That's part of the dream. And then on the other hand, you get your mask, you clean your house with ozone, you tell people they can't come over, you're quarantining big time, right? There's nothing wrong with either side of that at all. But don't be attached and don't avert. Be in the middle. Because in the middle, in the silence, is where you'll find your power. It's where you'll find you. And you've been there all along. Nothing can disturb that inner peace. And when you just float and you hang out there, it's okay to dabble here and there. Go back and forth between the two. Get sad, get angry. Let the emotion come up. But don't Google, why am I experiencing this emotion in your mind? Your mind is Google, right? And you're searching for things all day long. Why am I this? Why am I that? You have 80,000 thoughts a day. So the Google of your mind is giving you information in regards to what you're searching for. That's how it works. And if what you're getting you don't like, then you got to change what you're searching for in the Google of your mind. So how I change what I'm searching for is I ask questions based in how. How can I experience more joy? How can I experience more love? How can I experience more peace? Ask yourself those questions, because the Google will bring back to you what you're looking for in your reality. How can I experience more togetherness? How, in the midst of all this separation and loneliness and people being locked in their houses, can I experience more love? Would it be possible if I didn't even need to see anybody in the physical to experience the same love that I could experience in a psychic realm, in an astral realm, in a different dimension, in a lucid dream, in nature? Mother Nature is so powerful. And that Mother Nature that you have inside of you, that dormant force, that supernatural abilities, you have that power in you. So I didn't even know what I was going to film today, but let this be a reminder of how powerful you are. Let this be a reminder of there's people that get you. I know there's times when you feel like you're not understood. Even your family right now, maybe you're in the house with them, you're getting a little batty. Know that your family is not limited to what you were born into. Know that your family's here. We're with you, we're watching you. We're together. Know that there's great love for you. That you are love. This isn't your life that you're living as an identity. You are life. You are light. Let there be light. And let it be now, because the world needs you. This is a message that the world needs you, all of you. So open up your heart, open up your mind, open up your soul to the greater possibility of what's happening. I think the reason why it's so important for me to help you individually, one-on-one, during these videos is because I know that that collective energy that we can create together is super powerful. And it's the only thing that's going to change the timeline right now. So when you feel sad, when you feel depressed, when you get angry, be with it. It's okay. Don't judge it. Let it come in. And then choose to move your attention higher. What's the highest version of this? How can I move my attention? Because the more you move your attention higher, the more you access witness consciousness, the more you realize that it wasn't you all along, and that there's this bigger version of you where you're connected to everyone, me, everyone else, and we will create heaven on earth again. This is an illusion, my friend. Both sides. It's an illusion. Everything is an illusion. Waking up from the dream, and I know that sounds crazy. You know, this is an illusion. There's people dying. There's this, there's that. And that's all okay. Just see it for what it is. Allow it to pass. Send love and light, compassion to both sides, every side. There's more than two. And simply be. Because by you being, that's the world changer. Owning who you are. All right. If you knew what I just did, on the other side of this camera, let me know. What did you feel in your body? Don't be perverted. It's not like that. Get your head out of the gutter. Cool. There's a lot. It's the greatest opportunity ever. We signed up for this. The journey can be hard. It can look different than what we had imagined in the past. But we signed up for this. It's time to remember. We're in this together. I love you guys so much. And we'll see you soon.